So, hi there. I will maybe speak. I wrote soft spoken, so now I can't really whisper then. Yeah. Today I started doing some 40 days. Oh, sorry about that. 40 days yoga. And this practice that I started with now, it's a set that gives you a quick lift in energy, increased clarity, and a sense of balance. If you do the minimum times for each exercise, it only takes 22 to 25 minutes to completely reset yourself. It is an excellent set for beginners. You learn the relationship to the breath and you observe the differences in emotion and thinking that each type of breathing creates. Even though breathing is the most natural and essential thing we do, conscious breathing can be quite a challenge. When you alter the breath, you begin to oppose and release the habitual patterns of emotion and attention that are coded in the habits of your body and mind. As those patterns begin to alter, you may drift in concentration or interest. If you continue and command the breath, then you will gain a new sense of ease and control when you direct your mind, where you direct your mind. This Kriya is excellent to practice as a preparation for a more strenuous Kundalini Yoga set. It can be practiced in beginning and advanced stages. As a beginner, use the times listed above. For intermediate level practice, do exercises 1 to 4 for 5 minutes each. For an advanced practice, increase the times of 1 to 4 to a full 10 minutes each. This is the basic breath series. And just tuning in, doing the, as I mentioned before, I get this as a teaching now from a lovely friend. And just when you tune in, do the singing mantras beforehand and afterwards. Just that in itself creates such a. I've longed for it. Still, other things. I'm so interested in many things. Other things come before this. Then the cat also loves it. She always loved this music. That sometimes I had quite now, but she loves that kind of music as well as whenever I've done any actually breathing practices or yoga, she had to be there, and she purrs very loudly meanwhile. So cats are very, very sensitive to energies. I think mine more so than some other cats actually also. But so this was off. Oh, not off. Awesome. Yeah. And I also realized how much I need this to cleanse the nadis, which I've also been taught in Ayurveda, since I'm educated in that. And this is such a good match with that. And I love this form of yoga because it's the energy yoga. And I'm very sensitive to the energy, so this is just fabulous. I love it so much. So, yeah, this has started today. So from that to a different thing, I come to the breathing as well, but I want to read certain things for you as well as for myself. I find it more interesting to read it not only to myself, so. And also I read slower so I can comprehend it better. So let's see now. Okay. Oh, the sounds. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. Consciousness in the Aquarian Age. The Aquarian Age is the dawning. November of 1991 marked the cusp of the last step of the shift of the age. There have been many ages and shifts of ages before in the long history of humankind. But this shift of age is different. The old Piscean age was dominated by machines and hierarchies. The new Aquarian age is ruled by awareness, information, and energy. The greatest power will be your word, your consciously projected words. This change is radical, not incremental. It is a simultaneous change in both the outer and inner worlds. The mind is changing its sensitivity, its basic frequency and functioning. Our lifestyle is changing its sense of time, space, relatedness, and relevancy. In the age we are leaving behind, it was a central and even sacred task to find and gain access to the right information. There were special places of study in remote areas like Tibet, or in a deep jungle or an isolated desert, accessible to a few who could qualify or who had a special destiny. The motto of the age was to be or not to be, learn, grow, and become something. Great knowledge about human potential was guarded by secrecy and layers of initiations. In the Aquarian age, there are no secrets. Information is available. Finding it is not the central task any longer. In this age, the motto is be to be. You already are something by the grace of the Creator. Accept your wholeness and your connectedness to a large creative existence and express it with each committed action. Let your actions demonstrate wisdom. Study alone, knowing a truth alone, will not be important. Real value will come from truth embodied in practical actions and in the internal caliber and qualities of your mind and heart. This is the profile of a fulfilled human being. In the Piscean age, it was central and sacred to find gain access to the right information. In the Aquarian age, there are no secrets. Information is available. Real value will come from truth embodied and practical actions and internal caliber. Wow. The unknown will be known. In the last age, people could get away with many more behaviors, from embezzling to dumping pollutants. They could hide them. Now that is rapidly becoming impossible. In the past, one could establish a persona, a mask to show the world and be known by. Now every persona is under audit. Each action can be tracked regardless of appearances. Every money exchange, statement, and behavior leaves a trail. They will be known by those actions. Action is the language of the awakened self. As the Aquarian age dawns, the old defenses and manipulations based on hiding or controlling access to information will no longer work. We need the capacity to access our actions and their consequences before we take them, as if every action will be known and will reveal us. Only then can we realize that our word, fulfilled by actions, is our ultimate gift and power. Vast changes afoot. There are many dimensions to the radical shift of this age. People everywhere are talking about it, making predictions or debunking it. Some sense the shift as a catalyst or end of the world, others as a new beginning, and still others as a time of uncertainty and unpredictability. What is clear to everyone is a sense of urgency and a vast change in society consciousness and the nature of our perception of the world and each other. We have always experienced change, but rarely with this intensity and speed, and never with this scope and vastness. The change is in all levels of life at once. It is not sequential and orderly, nor is each step predictable, and it affects each one of us personally. Regardless of how the shift is perceived, every person down to the grassroots of society is reaching for something to do about it. Each person must accept the responsibility to elevate and manage his or her own state of awareness, to deal with widespread and constant stress, to take actions and to make decisions on a vast shifting array of problems. Although people intuit the shift in different ways, there are several overarching themes that we all agree must be confronted and dealt with. The change is on all levels of life at once. It is not sequential and orderly, nor is each step predictable, and it affects each one of us personally. The character of the Aquarian age. Change and learning is continuous and lifelong. We must maintain mental, emotional, and physical flexibility. Intellect is not enough. We need a new relationship to intuition, emotion, and instinct. Information is not enough. Neither is knowledge. We need wisdom. Learning is not enough. We must learn how to learn. Complexity is increasing, as is our need to deal with it. Our sense of personal identity and its foundation is shifting. This is an age of paradox, more global and more individual. With fewer boundaries and more demands for political separations, everything is faster and we have less time. We need far more love and unity, for we have more fear and tremendous insecurity. Stamina and constant peak performance are the common benchmarks to evaluate all people and their work, and the need is to go inward and regenerate. We require reconciliation and integration of the spiritual side of life with the technological and material sides, a spiritual fitness to sense values and meaning. There is no isolation. Each action we take must be considered ecologically and globally, because each person does affect, directly or indirectly, vast networks of people and other living beings and places. Using the meditative mind. We must learn to use the mind differently. The mind of the future Aquarian age person will change both in sensitivity and quality over the next several decades. In a few generations, our mental struggles will seem as distant and perplexing to them as the problems and thoughts of ancient prehistoric empires seem to us now. That change of mental quality will occur automatically and has already begun in some people. The outer education provided by the information revolution must be matched by an inner education and in wisdom, self-control, intuition, and the use of the neutral mind. We need stamina under stress, clarity of values for decisions, and a new base for identity. We need the ability to command our brain, mind, and states of consciousness consciously through the filter of intuition, wisdom, and the positive, negative, and neutral minds. The outer education provided by the information revolution must be matched by an inner education in wisdom, self-control, intuition, and the use of the neutral mind. Unique challenges in the Aquarian age. We must prepare for and find antidotes to a wave of new maladies. Each age has its special challenges to body, mind, and soul. For example, leprosy, tuberculosis, malaria, and smallpox are plagues that we faced for many generations in the last age. Through new medical technologies and committed efforts, some of the old enemies like smallpox have disappeared. Others are contained and in retreat. Now, as we enter the Aquarian age, previously unknown challenges such as viral epidemics and psychological and spiritual ailments beset us, with more on the way. Depression and fatigue-related psychological illnesses are at epidemic proportions and rising at accelerating rates. The Annals of Internal Medicine is a prestigious U.S. medical journal recently reported fatigue and stress as two of the top reasons people seek a doctor. Over 25% of patients complain of prolonged fatigue lasting at least several weeks. Other symptoms come with the fatigue: insomnia, instability to concentrate or make decisions, loss of a feeling of control, and alienation from normal social and sexual relationships. News reports are increasingly documenting that even the most competent, productive, and intelligent people have lost their sense of balance to the inescapable pressure of information overload, the lack of time, and increased social and personal demands. At first, people would try to deal with this gap with increased electronic technology, attempting to use more sophisticated devices and software to sort the flood of information. The ancient defenses of our human nervous system will accelerate. We will fight, withdraw, and fantasize more. Some of us will attempt to diffuse the impact of the flood of information with harmful adaptations like drug use or end violence. Electronic technology will only bring us more information, more choices, more contacts, and more complexity. It will push us beyond all the old frontiers of identity, home, neighborhood, country values, and the natural rhythm of nature. Our old touchstones for forming an identity will fail, and we will have a pervasive identity crisis. Depression and fatigue-related psychological illnesses are at epidemic proportions and rising at accelerating rates. A technology for inner energy. All these examples highlights the necessity for a potent and practical technology to generate the inner energy needed to survive and excel under this pressure. Energy is the capacity for action or accomplishment, the effort the mind and body is able to exert to move from the current state to a desired state. Remember the famous formula of Einstein: E equals mc2. It converts the mass of an object into the amount of energy it can generate. In the realm of the mind, we can write a similar formula. E, inner energy, equals mc raised to 2, mind consciously conscious. We must consciously direct the consciousness of the mind. We release the energy we need to excel and balance ourselves with an inner technology that can alter the frequency of the mind and the state of the brain. We do not need new choices. We are flooded with choices. We need an elevated capacity to make choices. We do not need more information. We need the wisdom to use all the information. We do not need another religion. We need the experience of a dharma that creates a spiritual fitness to act believably on our beliefs. These examples highlight the necessity for a potent and practical technology to generate the inner energy needed to survive and excel under this pressure. 5 sutras for the Aquarian age. 1. Recognize that the other person is you. 2. There is a way through every block. 3. When the time is on you, start and the pressure will be off. 4. Understand through compassion or you will misunderstand the times. 5. Vibrate the cosmos. The cosmos shall clear the path. Yogi Bhajan. Keep up. Kardi Kala 11. Har, 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 har. Meditate on the name. As the tears of God's love come to your eyes, the path will be revealed, and you'll see God everywhere. Keep going, keep up, keep walking, slowly, effortlessly, gracefully. Sing the Nam, the music of the spheres, and keep on drinking the nectar essence of God. Yogi Bhajan from Furman Khalsa, Poems to Use. Yogi Bhajan's message at the dawn of the Aquarian age. The age of Aquarius began on November 11, 1991. We are in the cross period between Pisces and Aquarius. The world shall change. A new world emerge beyond our expectations, imaginations, and situations. With this year, we will not only say goodbye to 1991, we will say goodbye to the age of Pisces. Now, the slogan of the age of Pisces, I want to know, please help me, will change to the slogan of the age of Aquarius. I know, let me help take you there. This will be the age of experience, expertise, and expansion. Prosperity shall be the key factor, and the prosperity message is prosperity, prosperity, prosperity is perpetual with people who prefer to be penetrating, prepared, and purposeful. But prosperity only comes to those who are trustworthy, deliver, and who are content and consistent. Basically, it boils down to commitment. If you put your soul into anything, you can plug into the whole world. It will be yours. You can sweep prosperity with your commitment. Contain, commit, and be conscious. We wish you all the best. This was for 1992, but also to come. This was for the beginning of the age of Aquarius, Yogi Bhajan, on December 20th, 1991. But it's ongoing and increasingly, as we all can see. So, the self-sensory system and the transition from the Piscean to the Aquarian age. Many are in this awakening. I mean, those who didn't awakened to certain things before, more roughly are shaken awake by this time, I think. Okay, this is Teachings of the Master, a lecture by Yogi Bhajan, August 2000. The self-sensory system and their transition from the Piscean to the Aquarian age. In the next 12 to 14 years, you will be needed by the world and beyond, I guess, but still. It does not matter who one is today or to whom one belongs. People's minds are going to go empty in the Piscean age. The main need was for knowledge, for creative legacy. That's why in the Piscean age sex was taboo. It was monitored, matured, glorified. Sex and sensuality were considered the primary attractions. Beauty was physical and people pursued each other. Sexual intercourse was the orientation of relationship, and it reached the point of obnoxious duality. Perversion became very prominent. Duality won't work alone. No, anymore. Oh gosh. Duality won't work anymore. But the time is changing, and people are looking towards fulfillment of the self through purity and piety, individuality and reality. They don't want to practice duality anymore. That's why you will find few marriages. Sex will not be the attraction. A sensory system will develop a new system where the individual will find him or herself complete. Communication will be humongous. I don't know what the word is, what it means even. Everybody will have access to all knowledge. With a push of the button, you can get any information you want. The whole world will be at your disposal. The obsession with sex will have no place and will not look for satisfaction through physical intercourse. It will be automatic that one finds satisfaction through the self-sensory system, which people will develop in the coming 50 years. The foundation is being laid now because the crust period is 1991 to 2012 for the age of Pisces to go and the age of Aquarius to come. We have already come through 9 years of these 21 years. What is that personal sensory system? There will be no need for cosmetic makeup. People will be open, straight, simple, and their beauty will be internal, not external. Man and woman are going to reach out with such dignity, such devotion, such an elevated loftiness of self, that the beauty of the human character will be so bewitching. Not only the one who is willing will be enjoying and realizing, but their realization will be so profound that no destructive temptation by another person will work. People will be open, straight, simple, and their beauty will be internal, not external. Wow, this sounds like what's the word? Oh gosh, I can't find the word in English, like almost like the word too good to be true, but who knows? We are beautiful, with or without it, I would say. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I recently started to like makeup. Before I didn't really, I wasn't really into that. Now I find it really fun, so I don't know. Anyways, maybe we will be rid of limitations of that sort. What we are leaving behind. The Piscean age was the ugliest age. It was an era in which the female was rooted out from her roots and exploited to the brink and to the brim by men. Male-female relationship didn't have any strength. It didn't have any character. It didn't have any taste. So females in the past century gave birth to most fearful, insecure, impotent, and oversexed men, and sexual disorder was worse than ever before in the past 3,000 years. In humankind, men were sexually inferior. They did not have the power of endurance, and they could not carry the love and polarity of the female. In other words, men and women could not become a unit. Their sexual habits were so shallow that the Akashic record did not even record them. Fun. I'm sorry that I laughed because they are just, oh, this is so worthless. It's not even worthy to remember. Yeah, it didn't make a like an imprint even in the universe. That's meaningless. Yeah, that empty kind of thing. All right, this is kind of fun. Men were the product of being worthless and useless. Their sexual intimacy has no depth. The men produced in the last century, whom we call great, wanted to indulge in the power of destruction. That's why we created the atom bomb, the hydrogen bomb, and smart bombs. We had two wars, and we killed more people in the name of religion than anything else. Religion became not reality, but an ugly fanaticism. Okay. I just try to remember that word more. Utopia, like that's kind of what it sounded like, the description, like any kind of half fanatic utopia. Never mind. Anyway, the working God. The ugliest thing that happened in this last century is that man started finding God outside himself. Man forgot that God is the working God, Kartapurk, which Nanak said works and breathes in us. It's part of us, it's not separate. We were blind to God's presence everywhere. The only way to survive today is through the insanity of the ego. Not ego. Ego has a rational reference, but the insanity of the ego. Man's ego is like a snake which spews poison at you like a fountain. It doesn't mean anything, it just scares you, that's all. People have become limited, small, squeezed to a point of just physical existence. Today we are 6 billion ugly ducklings of the human race living on the planet, and we have no quality, no quantity, no character, and no commitment. Look at our character. It's wrapped in lies and inconsistency. We truthfully say things which are not true. We dramatically say things which are not true. And we do the ugliest things on this planet. We build a power which surrounds the individual. How many houses, how many I forget to speak softly, I'm sorry. Boyfriends, how much money do we have? We end up adding on dirt, a termite heap of dirt. In character, we have become very shallow. How many and how big are our TV sets? How many cars do we have? You'll never hear a person talking about how much satisfaction, how much containment, how much contentment, how much character, and how much realization he has. You won't hear it these days. Who had sex with who? Who wants who? Who chased who? Who is nude? Who is more nude? Do you understand? There is a competition going on. You see, all our magazines. It's a human joke. And when a race of humans starts making mockery of themselves openly and obnoxiously, nothing is sacred. So this is the state of affairs, and it has to go on for 12 more years of this crass period, and it will be bad for us. Let's see now. That will be. This have passed, luckily, but I mean there are still things are going on. But I guess many more people. I mean, they said here no one is like talking about these things, but people are. There are at least, yeah, quite many actually, if you look for it. Way more than at this time when he wrote this down. Building the foundation of the new age. My idea to present this to you is that many of you will try to reach out to help people or help yourself. And you will have something to understand. It's called building the foundation of the new age. The age of Aquarius will be the age of experience, where only people of experience will be liked, respected, worshipped, talked to, and understood. It's not a matter of how young or old you are, how white you are, or how black you are. Religion as it has been known, has become absolutely obsolete. Because in the past 5,000 years, religion has been teaching you to redeem your soul. Soul is already redeemed. What you should redeem is your being sheep, shallow, worthless, useless, not true to your words, not true to your commitment, and not true to your character. That's what you should redeem. The majority of the world is nothing but show business. You put on a show, and spirituality is nothing but a show. No human believes that they are in fact that they are a fact of life, a fact of existence, that they are real, that they are born in the image of God. The most magnificent Allah, most infinite God, Jehovah, most pure wise Lord Buddha, whatever you want to call your God, has created you in his own image, and this is it. So God in the new age is called he, she, it. He, she, and it. And if you don't understand the totality of God as he, she, and it, then you are shit. He means like it was just an S though. You can't put silver leaf or gold leaf on it. That is still what you are. So you are wrapped in gold, your wealth, and you think you are covered. You are wrong. You are trapped and wrapped in silver, and you think you're shining and bright, and you can make a fool of others. You are deadly wrong. The fact is, there is nothing more beautiful, more worthy, and more conscious than you. This was so beautiful. I need to read it again, 2 times again. The fact is, there is nothing more beautiful, more worthy, or more conscious than you. Wow, also scary. The fact is, there is nothing more beautiful, more worthy, or more conscious than you. And this is absolutely true. I totally believe this. To be. The time has come of self-value, and the question is not to be or not to be. The statement is to be to be. I am, I am. The time has come not to search for God, but to be God. Time is not to worship God, but to trust and dwell in the working God. As this is coming through me, it is cleansing me. If you are not listening and only hearing, you are not getting it. But if you are listening, it will go into you. You have to come to the awareness of how bad and unfortunate we have made this world, as ugly as possible, and how beautiful actually God created it. We are purely enemies of God because God within us is in pain, and there is no God outside us. Each one is the manifestation of God. So it won't work to create God by making a stone God. Every grain of sand is God. And we have to have our subtle body, our sophisticated self to see it. In reality, you are a bunch of molecules living by the pranic body. You are nothing more, nothing less. As long as the psyche will not merge in you equally in balance, you will have no awareness. Human existence is a combination of the pranic body and psychic energy, which is the universe. Prakruti, the creation in proportion. When you have that state of mind, you are clean and clear. You stop searching, you start practicing. The oddness in you becomes even, and your flow becomes as vast as the universe, and sometimes beyond the universe. You have the authentic reach to yourself. I don't want anybody because I want everybody. This concept is very difficult. I don't want to be I don't want to be we. I want to be just as it is. And my run is with the flow of the psyche, of the universe as it takes me. as it moves me, as it desires me. Man will stop cutting corners and come into a real existence, and it's not long from now. Any person who thinks he is great may be nothing, because the information age is so powerful and so knowable and so acknowledgeable and so understandable that nothing can work. We will not be competent to cheat each other, but we can help and deal with each other as equal. There is no beautiful, no ugly. The love of existence, of our life, and of our breathing will be in need of the flow of the psyche in us. Therefore, we can be a real combination of self within the self. And the sensory system which develop automatically out of us will be our archangel, protecting us and glorifying us. Wow. You have to come to the awareness of how bad and unfortunate we have made this world, and how beautiful actually God created it. Yeah, this is happening on many levels, in many ways, not only through this teaching, but very much also through this, I'm certain. Also I think the complications related to this, that I right now won't go into more, I think they mirror something, yeah. The projection and how we need it, kind of. And not only that, also forces that want to stop certain healing modalities that will break through this barrier of the old age. There are forces who cling heavily to the old and want to stop everything that brings this authentic strength, Anyway, living by the self-sensory system, those who hustle and hassle and move and want will just die suffering. They'll not get anything. Now the time has come that you will have a meditative mind to wait and see what comes to you. Your mind will direct you to work towards the right channels. You will meet the right people. Our future is now, and our presence is our purity. We don't have to purify ourselves. We are pure. We simply have to not make it ugly by diversion, by concoctions, stones, and by creating meaningless romance and fantasy, and imagining things which are zero. We'll master ourselves through our service, through our character, through our commitment, and the most powerful thing which people have, our grace. Our individual grace is the most wanted today, and our projection, which will give our satisfaction, fulfillment, and exaltation, is our nobility. We will act noble, gracious, kind, and compassionate. These are our essential features. Our creativity will be our sensory system. And through this sensory system, we will be overflowing with energy, touching the hearts of people and feeling their feeling and filling their emptiness. We will act great and and our flow will fulfill the greatness in the hearts of others. It will be a new relationship. We will create a new humanity, which will have the new sensory system. And thus we will establish the age of Aquarius. This is the fundamental character you have to learn by heart. And this is very much also what is said in Muneki, this evolution within a generation, not in between generations. And so changing, upgrading. The love of existence of our life and of our breathing will be in need of the flow of the psyche in us. The sensory system will develop automatically out of us, will be our archangel protecting us and glorifying us. Our future is now, and our presence is our purity. We don't have to purify ourselves. We are pure. We simply have to not make it ugly by diversion, concoctions, stories, and by creating meaningless romance and fantasy. Wow. 7 steps to happiness. First step is commitment. The first step is commitment. In every life, you are meant to commit. That is why the word is commitment. Wow. Commitment gives you character. Second step is character. Character is when all your characteristics, all facets, flaws, and facts are under your control. Yin and yang meet there, totally balanced. Character gives you dignity. Third step is dignity. People start trusting you, liking you, respecting you. Dignity will give you divinity. Fourth step is divinity. What is divinity? Divinity is when people have no duality about you. They trust you right away. They have no fear about you. Divinity gives you grace. Fifth step is grace. When there is grace, there is no interference, no gap between two people, no hidden agenda. Grace gives you the power to sacrifice. Sixth step is power to sacrifice. You can stand any pain for that person. The sacrifice gives you happiness. Seventh step is happiness. What is yoga? What is light? What is light? Light is where you can see everything. Light is where darkness disappears. Who is enlightened? One who can see everything good, bad, and neutral. One who sees all and sees God. If you cannot see God in all, you cannot see God at all. Those who seek God inside find it. Those who seek God outside waste their time and waste their lives. The world is the essence of word, of shabd. Those who follow the rules in their essence and being by action, thought, and deed shall rule the destiny and shall cover the distance of life with place, grace, and glory. When we fold our hands in prayer, God opens his arms and gives us a hug. Life is fulfilled with this union. That is yoga, says Yogi Bhajan. So, I will tell you about yoga in very simple terms. The human mind is potentially infinite and creative, but in practical reality it is limited. So a technical know-how is required through which one can expand his mind to bring about the equilibrium that enables him to control his physical structure and experience his infinite self. Yogi Bhajan. So I will keep reading a little bit more. There is so much interesting here. I think I can't go on for ever, but I want to. I want to share this because it's very much needed also right now. What is yoga? An adventure in consciousness. I have found that people lack a basic understanding about the goals, process, and techniques of Kundalini Yoga. They do not understand the core concept of yoga. Some people think yoga is a religion. Some people think it is physical exercise for vitality and health. Some people think it is a psychological system that develops the potential of the psyche. In reality, this is all based on misunderstanding. Yoga is essentially a relationship. Consider the origin of the word yoga. Yoga, as we in West understand it, has come from the biblical word yoke. This originated from the root word in Sanskrit, yugit. They both mean to join together or to unite. Yoga is the union of the individual unit consciousness with the infinite consciousness. The definition of a yogi is a person who has totally learned on the supreme consciousness, which is God, until he or she has merged the unit self with the infinite self. That is all it means. The word yoga comes from the word yoke, to join together or to unite. Yoga is the union of the individual's unit consciousness with the infinite consciousness. Wow, I'm so in love with this. I've been from the start, actually. Wow, I can't love it more. As well as the other things I do, the Ayurveda, the witchy things, the Muneki, everything to me is, it shines brightly in similar ways. All things I've come across, actually, sometimes through cloudier, I mean, you can see it through the petals that hides this jewel inside lotus. But anyway, here it's clear. A technology of awareness. Yoga is a technology of awareness. It starts with a universal human predicament that, regardless of your individual level of experience and awareness, the underlying reality of every human mind is that it is both infinite and creative in potential. Yeah. This unlimited potential is limited in practical action. Your possibilities meet with your actualities at the border of awareness. Awareness varies and gives you different choices and capacities. To break the unconscious limits, a person needs a technical know-how. That know-how is required to expand the caliber and capacity of the mental faculties, to bring about an equilibrium, to control the physical structure, and to experience the infinite self. The techniques of Kundalini Yoga form the owner's manual for human consciousness. Yoga explores your dimensions, depth, nature, and potential as a human being in simple terms. That is all that yoga means. Yoga is greatly needed in our life today. Each person must deeply understand why he is a human being and what it means to be a human being. There is a lot of talk and philosophy about the inner infinity and how to know about it. Remember that intellectual knowledge does not hold and sustain you. Knowledge only becomes real wisdom when you experience it with your own heart and being. Only the experience is that wisdom, Gyan, can hold and support you. Just because you know about or believe something is true does not mean you can act on it. But if you discover a truth and act on the path of that truth, and if you can find bliss, success, and fulfillment in yourself as a result, then no power on earth can make you veer from that truth or do wrong. Once you have seen the joy of what truth and of that truth and have enjoyed that beauty, you are okay. The techniques of Kundalini Yoga form the owner's manual for human consciousness. Knowledge becomes wisdom when you experience it with your own heart and being, when it becomes your personal experience. I recognize this when every year I start a group that I teach in the medicine wheel, and many ask a lot of questions. I don't have anything. I like the questions. It's just that this fact, when it comes to this as well, of course, but it is experimental traditions. Not that you experiment, but also that. But you know, so you won't get it. It doesn't matter if you have someone else saying it until you experience it. You know, that's when you know. You cannot know before then. And it doesn't really help you so much to, yeah, well, anyways. But I hope anyone gets curious on this from what I read here. Or any other path that suits you, whatever. Discipline and true wisdom. Students must understand this distinction. Knowledge becomes wisdom when it becomes your personal experience. Anything which can hold and support you is based on real wisdom. Some students say that knowing about the truth is all right. They say knowledge is good, but wisdom is not. They are afraid of the discipline and surrender required to attain true wisdom. A guru can give you knowledge and technologies, but he cannot give you wisdom. This is where we normally what is this word? Where it's faulty, we think that someone is a wise man. We believe we can make everything all right if we learn from him, serve him, and feel good about him. Yoga and wisdom never work that way. He can give you technical skills, but acquiring wisdom depends on your own practice and discipline. The teacher and the student have an equal essential part to play in the drama of enlightenment. His part is to provide the knowledge and inspiration. Your equally essential part is to learn, practice, and experience. This is really suitable for everything. His part is to provide the knowledge and inspiration. Your equally essential part is to learn, practice, and experience. Otherwise, the gain will not be too much at all. Where you can start to learn who you are as a human being. Where can you start to learn who you are as a human being? What is the most basic knowledge that you can capture as your own inner wisdom? I want you to feel very happy and good, but I also want to give you a direct and honest overview and assessment of yourself as a basic human being who seeks happiness and fulfillment and a fulfilled life. Acquiring wisdom depends on your own practice and self-discipline. Wow, I'm getting there slowly. I'm so grateful for all the guides in spirit world. Also, their patience is beyond awesome. Wow. All right. But yeah, I've discovered much of this still from my experience in many paths. The threefold structure of the human being. And also to me, the words and the exact, it's not so important as the essence to me. Yeah. So I can see it in many ways. Anyway, the threefold structure of the human being. To begin the study of Kundalini Yoga, understand that you have a threefold structure: body, mind, and soul. Your essence has a vehicle to experience the universe and the self through these three facets of you. You must understand, have your own depth and experience of each facet. The body. The physical or gross body is the first facet you must master and understand. This is also very much relatable to the medicine wheel, where you start in the south with the body and then the mind and then the soul and spirit. So this is actually similar but differently described. The physical body or gross body is the first facet you must master and understand as a human being. It is your vehicle to travel through this life, and I've actually come in the other way around. And this is I've done the other parts actually, and now I'm starting to do the physical. I ground myself in the body. Eventually, poor body, I will take better care of it now. Your inner machinery is very complicated and subtle. It is not just the flesh and bone that you can see. It is a very well designed and systematic system. It has glands, blood circulation, breathing apparatus, heartbeat pulsation, and brain sensory apparatus, and complex nervous system. All these systems combine and interweaves with a structure of flesh and bone to constitute your physical system. I need to drink a little bit of water here. Yeah. The physical vehicle is a functional system. It receives, processes, and accomplishes ongoing tasks. Every functional system, regardless of its composition, needs cleaning, needs care, and needs tuning regularly. The normal use of the system creates wear and misalignment. It also needs careful assessment of its capacity to act, its potential to respond to demands, and its possibility for endurance and longevity. These are the basics that you must learn to take care of first. In my case, last, but anyways, at last. The balance of the physical vehicle affects the rest of your capacity and experience. Yeah, still, you need it. If you want to test the reality of this claim, just overeat consistently for a few days and you will understand, well, decades, like 52 years. What about that? In New York, I met a person whose cause proved this. I asked him, "Why are you on welfare?" He said, "I can't hold myself together." It surprised me. He had intelligence, nervous capacity, and friends. His problem was that he overate. Oh, wow, this is hitting me hard. Wow. And some people even do that and still, I know this person, bless his heart, and that actually, um, well, he would be healthier with less weight, let's say. Anyways, who still managed to deal with things and everything, and well, that is actually amazing. Anyway, but let's see now. He had intelligence. Every 10 or 15 days, he would get sick and go to the hospital. After he get out, they would ask him to take precautions and not to do it again. But he would immediately overeat, get sick, and go back in. It was a powerful cycle. Overeating destroyed the balance of his whole system. It blocked any other aspiration and goal he had. I can relate somewhat, although luckily I've had some things, good things going on meanwhile. Anyways, overeat even one time and you upset your body. Oh my, this hit me hard. The physical body is the basic temple in which you can deposit the treasure of happiness in life. When you are young, you can play mischief and with the physical body, but in old age, the body has you paying for the playing. You cannot escape this fact. No, I know that's why. The body does not forgive your actions, it only records the results of the actions. You must schedule the body and calculate its use and maintenance on a scale that changes with age. Think to yourself, suppose I live 100 years. I have a plan for that. How should I carry this body model 1949 or 1969? I want to live 100 years from that first year. How do I care for that system? If you buy a car, you can expect that with regular service, oil changes, etc., it will get a certain mileage, you say. But if you do not schedule regular maintenance, you will have to change cars after only 2 years. It doesn't work that way with the human body. You are not so fearless that after 5 or 10 years you can say, all right, I can change the human body, I can get into another. You have not become so mystically attuned to the universal consciousness that you can do that. It is essential to make the best of what we have. The body is the only one you get, right now anyway. In Kundalini Yoga, you study the body in the light of yoga therapy. You must understand it and learn how you can make the best use of it. You must be able to keep it on the level of consciousness you choose, so that it can serve you better and better without a lot of trouble. That's the maximum you can do. Yeah. The physical vehicle is a functional system. It receives, processes, and accomplishes tasks. It needs cleaning, care, and tuning regularly. The balance of the physical vehicle affects the rest of your capacity and experience. Although I think also many mediums, aside from also different things, numbing emotions or, things that feel difficult to feel or even see or remember or be aware, that kind of thing that doesn't really eventually work. But anyways, that is one thing. And then also being very sensitive in the sense of, picking up information and such. And that is also something, it could be a way to turn it off. I see that in several mediums. But there are way better ways, to control that, yeah. So anyways, yeah. But I can see that also how that goes along with it. The physical body is the basic temple in which you can deposit the treasure of happiness in life. Yeah, this is the temple. Beautiful. The mind. The mind is the second facet in our human life. If the horizon of the mind is thought, understanding, tolerance, and patience is limited, and if the mind is not so beautifully functional that it can see the unseen and understand the consequences of each action, then it is practically impossible to live a happy life. The mind guides your actions and emotions. If you do not have a good roadmap, you do not know where you're going. You are just driving without aim, choice, and control. That's what we do in life. I would like to train you so that you can have a happy life around you. Actually, you must realize that everything depends on your mental outlook. The problem with your mind is that as you think, so you are. How can you develop this potent mental faculty to perceive everything correctly? If somebody is beautiful or ugly to you, it is a result of your mental evaluation. This is interesting in these times as well, related to this as well. If somebody is beautiful or ugly to you, it is a result of your mental evaluation. Somebody seems rich to you, even though he doesn't give you a penny. He is rich to you because of mental appraisal. You may imagine somebody is poor, even though he has millions of dollars sitting right under his seat. You call him poor because of your own mind. All of your experience is filtered through the creativity and appraisal of your mind. Happy and unhappy belong to your mind, not to the world. As you think, so you are. The mind guides your actions and emotions. If you do not have a good roadmap, you do not know where you are going. Let's see. More water here first. Let me say this in the two languages of the mystic and the scientist. When you say, I am a God-conscious person, it only means that you realize your mental capacity and ability. That is the real meaning. Everything you receive and have is through the capacity and creativity of your mind. We always say, when I pray, God will come. Have you ever understood what a prayer is? You create a vibratory effect, which goes into the infinite creativity around your psyche. The answer comes and is expressed in the energy of a job done. Then you say, well, prayer works. It is only your mind which has the power to concentrate and to work with that beauty. It is the mind which can give you a perspective on your life. What is the aim of your life? Many of you do not ask this question. You are too busy just surviving. But without this question, you will never experience living. The reflex answer to the question is, oh, everything is all right. What is all right? Nothing. Ask anybody. Everybody have 20 complaints about himself. Why? Why? Where does the time go? Early in the morning, you go to the office and earn money. Saturday, you have to pay your bills and buy groceries. If there's a long weekend, you have to take care of your taxes. 365 days go like this. We are so involved in the moment-to-moment tasks that we do not know any better about life. When we do not know any better, how's the better going to come? We pass our years with such speed and anxiety that we do not know what maintains us, except the blessing of God's compassion. It is an enormous and very rare mental shock that can damage your mental energy. This functional structure of the human machine is so beautifully made by the maker that it can recover from normal jerks and problems. Only when there is a constant pressure and no relaxation when there is no outlet, when there is constant boredom, or when there is a constant deficit in mental capacity, does it result in a shattered mind and the loss of happiness. Then you must get to a psychiatrist or counselor or a yogi. You depend on someone to redirect your energy and help you. But I believe every person represents God. Is God actually, but anyway. I do not believe you should be dependent and around like led around like a donkey by the nose by some wise man who puts a string in your nostrils or who talks about God. You do not need preachers or leechers. What you do need is the inner experience of God. But you have been brainwashed to misunderstand this idea. You think God is a guy who lives in the seventh sky at the head of time watching at the head of time watching you. Understand the word God. There are three basic letters in the word God, God. These letters stand for stands for the generating principle, the organizing principle, and the destroying principle. Yeah, as you know, those Hindu gods, Brahma. What is the middle one called? I should know that, right? And Shiva is the destroyer many times in that context. Well, anyways, what I have done is taken the first letter from each of these three words and combined them together to make the word God. God is the generating principle that is within you and with which pervades the creation. Vishnu, yeah, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Anyways, it is infinity to infinity in relationship to the total creativity. Through its changing, everything happens. When you become a God-conscious individual, you have the power of mental infinity. It's a great help if you find some person who can stand by you and let you go through that experience. You can get knowledge from anybody. It will always yield a beautiful bounty. You can work on any level, but you have to train yourself to be wise and effective through your own experience. Remember, you have three aspects. You have the lower self, the gross or physical self, you have the central self, which is known as the existing self, and you have the higher self, which is a powerful, sophisticated, and delicate self. When you give the mind a regular experience of an infinite horizon, you maintain it at the level and caliber of a basic human being. Let's see. When you give the mind a regular experience of an infinite horizon, you maintain it at the level and caliber of a basic human being. Basic sound like very low, but anyway. When you give the mind a regular experience of an infinite horizon, you maintain it at the level and caliber of a basic human being. Well, anyways, the soul and spirit. The third facet is in the human being is the soul, the spirit. As no lamp can burn without a combustible fuel, so no life can exist without a relationship to the spirit in it. Spirit has many meanings, tones, and facets. If there is a central thread in it, it is the general flow of the cosmic energy. In Catholicism, we call that flow God. In yoga, we call that flow cosmic energy. The two meanings and the one reality are exactly the same, or the Great Spirit in Native Americans. You have to understand, or Pachamama, you Mother Earth, you have to understand your relationship with that infinite energy. You must learn how you can tune in to accomplish your own purpose. Tune in to accomplish your own purpose. You can have a healthy, happy, holy, wholesome life, a fulfilled life, a beautiful life. You can experience in yourself the deep contentment of existence. You could be You should be so confined in this contentment that if you had to quit this planet, you could just say thank you and feel grateful. We often misunderstand and deny our basic spiritual nature in our social habits and communication. We are first of all people of spirit and faith. Our first impulse, our first impulse is faith. Our greatest capacity is faith. Our innocence and intuition act from faith. Yet we have lost the normal experience of the inner infinity. I want to touch on a controversial point. Whatever religion you follow, that belief, tradition, and practice is meant to guide you to experience your true origin, which is infinity. Origin, you see. The religion should get rid of your self-belittlement and limitation. It should inspire and lift you to your full human capacity. Instead of this result, you usually learn prejudice, you learn how to divide humanity, and you learn to love and hate based on belongings to certain thoughts, feelings, or practices. This miseducation has done more harm to the humanity than all the good acts that religions were intended to do. We have lost touch with the roots of religion, the spiritual impulse and identity in our heart. We do not even understand the basic concept in the word religion. That term comes from the Latin religio. It means to look back at your origin. And what is your origin? Spirit. And what is your end? Spirit. So what are you fighting about? What is the great debate? When you experience your origin as a reality, you are happy. Be constant under all circumstances and relate to one thing. You are a part of infinity and always lean on that power. Then you will never be unhappy. Happiness and mastery are the spiritual facets of the human life. It is a simple and direct practice. Happiness and mastery of the spiritual facet of the human life is a simple and direct practice. Yeah. The problem is that we have never trained our minds to know our origin as infinity. Instead, we have hidden under rituals. All these churches, temples, and synagogues, all the places of worship, were meant to create group consciousness. Spiritual awakening starts with individual consciousness, then progresses to group consciousness. When group consciousness is established and you care for others, then you progress to universal consciousness. Religious places were designed so that all the people who believe in some way could join together to praise the Lord and feel elevated, or whatever they present. That was the original purpose. Now people come there to fight elections and to argue about who should control the synagogue or church, or it has become a forum for some minute to speak, entertain, and dump his distinctive fervor, whatever that is. It has become a regular, merchandised, ritual. Oh, wait, what did I say? Ritual. Ritual, just a merchandised ritual, a systematic system within the system. Take care of the spiritual facet of your life by joining with others to experience and elevate yourself, the group, and the universe. In most places, the original purpose and practice to gather and experience the group elevation of consciousness has been forgotten, diluted, or simply gone. With the facet of our life neglected and underdeveloped, we have become confused. When a person does not develop the strength of the individual consciousness toward group consciousness, he cannot attain the final experience of the universal consciousness. Barriers will always exist, which keep a person limited. The development of group consciousness into the experience of infinity is the bridge to universal consciousness. It releases the unlimited self and fulfills the spiritual longing. You have to understand your relationship with the infinite energy, to the spirit within you. Happiness is the mastery of the spiritual facet of your life. It is a simple and direct practice. But we have never trained our mind to know our origin as infinity. Instead, we have hidden under rituals. Also, all the beautiful things written here, I've heard a lot of still that goes on. Some people that, that celebrates femininity and all kinds of, yeah, and also previous native traditions and whatnot, also have still a strong fear for witches and witchcrafts and those and even pagans of sorts. It's interesting, so interesting. And I must say, from my experience, the most generous and the most honest and in that way down to earth, living this persons that I have come across, that have been those people, the witchy ones. Yeah, so this described that very much for me, which I also want to the things that I've gotten, I want to give to others as well. Yeah, in all the ways that I've gotten them. Yeah, growth with yoga, anyways. Kundalini means awareness. So this is the energy yoga, the awareness yoga. Awareness is the active interaction of you as a finite individual and identity with you as an infinite potential identity. This dominant energy of awareness is in you. Wow. Oh, everything is so freaking deep in this. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm kind of in love with it. This dominant energy of awareness is in you. Kundalini Yoga is the supreme technology to awaken that awareness and take you into your original self. Normally, this awareness, Kundalini, is sleeping in you. You experience your own capacity and reality in a limited way. That awareness can be awakened and expanded. It can be extended to infinity, and yes, you remain you. Yet you remain you. Infinity is your basic origin and identity. The difference in your expanded state is that there is nothing lacking. The process of growth through Kundalini Yoga is a natural unfolding of your own nature. The blocks to that growth are the attachment to the familiarity of the past and your fear of the expanded self. Wow, the words, they are so beautiful. It's like flowers to me, like blooming. Wow, I need to read that again. It's so beautiful. Wow. Yeah. The process of growth through Kundalini, it's a natural unfolding of your own nature. The blocks to that the blocks to that growth are your attachment to the familiarity of the past and your fear of the expanded self. This is also exactly what you work with in the medicine wheel as well, in Munaki and that. Your basic human structure is your threefold nature and the relationship of the finite coiled awareness that your infinite uncoiled awareness. No, I read it straight now. To your infinite. Your basic human structure is your threefold nature and the relationship of the finite coiled awareness to your infinite uncoiled awareness. Yeah. This is the fundamental framework through which we have to function and experience life. Do you like it? Are you willing to agree to all this? Let's focus on the structure and its operation. As you practice Kundalini Yoga, you will grow. Like a snake, you will need to shed old skins to be more of who you are, as we do also in the south of Munaki, it's the snake, the direction of the snake, which also represents wisdom. Like a snake, you will need to shed old skin to be more of who you are. You will need to examine certain attitudes, behaviors, and emotional habits. You will gain new perspectives, capacities, and habits that can support your expanded awareness. There are several common challenges a student must confront. Your mind must be developed, artistic, and self-controlled. It must gain a neutrality that lets you encounter and enjoy the constant change that is life. You must mature the mind and your attitude to ride on those waves of life and enjoy it. After all, what's life? It's a wave. The light must follow the night, as night must follow the day. Sunshine must follow the clouds, and clouds must follow the sunshine. This constant change is the natural design of nature, but you feel you are really something special. You learn as a child that you are an exception, and you want to control everything. You want sunshine all the time. If you are in the sun all the time, then the nose gets burned and the eyes can't see. No one can live in this world with sunshine all the time. No person can live in darkness all the time. They will get depressed and sick. The real beauty of experience and life is based on this constant variation of light and dark, up and down. To have happiness all the time is very boring. You can't live that way. Your sensory organs cannot smell, see, hear, or feel anything without a change or contrast. You need a little push and pull to just feel where you are and where you should be. Yeah, that's another thing when all this light and, yeah. Without the contrast, there won't be. That's part of the wholeness, yin and yang. Yeah. Kundalini Yoga is the supreme technology to awaken your awareness and take you into your original self. It is a natural unfolding of your own nature, the development of group consciousness into the experience of infinity is the bridge to universal consciousness. So this is very fun to work with others. I really love that. And there, in many ways, it's like the similar practice. Yeah. And that's my happy place, to share what I found with others. And that's a passion of mine. Yeah. Among some other things that were mentioned before. Life is like a wave. This life is nothing but a vibration. It is a path that vibrates up and down like a wave. What do we want out of it? What should we desire? Desire a mind which is neutral, which understands the wave, and which gives you intelligence and grace. You all know about surfing. When there are heavy tides and great waves, some people love to go surfing. They enjoy it. Other people are fearful and run away. If a person has a neutral, sensitive mind, when he must experience a bad time, he can sit down and say, "Oh God, wonderful. What do you want? A bad time. I don't care." That person will communicate, talk, and feel the challenge is fun. He is not upset. He knows this night will pass and there will be a warm day. He knows he will have a lot of fun, so he preserves his energy for that time. He keeps himself centered, whole, and together. When the time changes, so he can expand, he applies all his energy. He enjoys it all the way. The neutral and sophisticated quality of mind has to be developed, trained, created, experienced, tooled, and fitted into all the grooves of habits and action. Once you accomplish this, any success in life is possible. Without this training, nothing is possible. This training, nothing is possible except your fate and your old subconscious patterns. An important part of Kundalini Yoga is to develop the neutral mind, and its capacity for intelligence, endurance, and integrity. Yeah. An important part of Kundalini Yoga is to develop the neutral mind and its capacity for intelligence, endurance, and integrity. Wow, I have a little sore throat now. Maybe I wonder how long I should read. Wow, I want to read so much. Maybe I will have to stop soon. I will read a little bit more. Just a little bit more. No. Okay. Unintentional and intentional sickness. Good health is another challenge. We all want to have good health. Without good health, it's difficult to work on projects in yourself. Many people feel we get sick because we lack information and do not know better. My feelings about sickness is very different. I don't believe anybody wants to be unhealthy, but I also believe that we sometimes bring sickness on consciously and intentionally. We allow ourselves to get sick even when we know how to avoid it, because we think something else is more important. Yeah, for sure. This is sure for so many. When I do healings and stuff, people just keep pushing and want. There are cases at least where people, I mean, intentionally actually just, and I can sometimes be that myself also. But there are two types of sicknesses: intentional and unintentional. Unintentional sickness is the main pain in our society. I have a lot of compassion for that. We do not know how to eat. We do not know how to digest. We do not know how to live. We do not know how to take care of this body. We have not been trained in the basic care and functioning of our human apparatus. We do not know how to pay attention to and maintain our glands and our nervous system to function on optimal levels. We do not know how to check daily for the inner balance of elimination, absorption, rest, and activity. We do not know how the interrelation of the body, mind, emotions, and spirit. We do not know the interrelation of the body, mind, emotions, and spirit. Our awareness is great. Unawareness, yeah, of course. Our unawareness is great. That lack of sensibility, knowledge, and training makes us sick. This is especially true in the polluted environment and in this society which emphasizes drugs, short-term crisis thinking, and which ignores the inner dimensions of the person. Intentional sickness is when we know our actions or lack of actions will lead to sickness, but we continue to do it. Wow. Oh. I get into intentional sickness often. Do you think a man of my awareness who didn't sleep for 18 days does not know I'm going to get into trouble? From the day I put myself on the plane until I returned today, I didn't get the chance to sleep. I had a specific important mission that I had to accomplish. The schedule was heavy from one meeting to another, discussion after discussion. I wanted to share the technology and psychology of yoga to combat the use of drugs and wasting of young lives. Even though the hours were long, I have trained myself consciously and subconsciously to do sadhana in the early hours of the morning. I could not skip the foundation and practice. I said, all right, do not turn anyone away who is in pain or in need. My highest priority was to provide service. I was aware that I was getting sick intentionally. The body can only go to a certain extent. I choose the sickness and the extra efforts to recover from the sickness. This is an example of intentional sickness. Yeah, sometimes maybe you can think it's worth it for a brief while then. But yeah, sometimes other subconscious things pushes you in your choices. Kundalini Yoga teaches you how to gain a strong immune system, vital glands, and a strong nervous system, good circulation, and an awareness of the impact of your habits. Yes. Yoga and good health. Kundalini Yoga teaches you the techniques and awareness to stay healthy. You gain a strong immune system, vital glands, and a strong nervous system, good circulation, and an awareness of the impact of your habits. The foundation gives you energy and lets you deal with the mental and spiritual facets of your life, calming the mind. To utilize yoga in its totality, you have to know what living is, what a relationship is, and what values this life can give. If you know what you want, then you can find it. Through meditation, you can calm the mind and develop your intuition to recognize what is real and important to you. Without knowledge, are you going to close your eyes and just start walking? Yeah, this is sometimes what we do, right? In any kind of direction. Where will you go? You have to know your direction and monitor yourself each step of the way. Your inner compass must tell you your location in relation to your goal. Life has its own innate organization, which you can sense with intuition and intelligence. Some people become intellectual instead of intelligent. They argue endlessly with themselves and others, and end with questions and doubt. Analysis is good, but not if it leads to paralysis, inaction over important choices that are known clearly to your heart and soul. That only leads to intellectual insecurity and inaction. Kundalini Yoga develops your relationship to your mental potential. You learn to use the clarity of the neutral, intuitive, comprehensive mind. You sharpen the intellect and do not use it to create self-doubt or insecurity. You act with grace and commitment from your heart. Through meditation, you can calm the mind and develop your intuition to recognize what is real and important to you. Very important. How can you miss this? You can get so into this wheel, or it's just spinning faster and faster and faster, and you just poof until you suddenly fly out like those little hamsters or whatever, and in the wheel, and to fly out from that eventually, poof, and then you realize, wow, luckily I'm out. I can just meditate now and get things in order. Getting out of insecurity. Each student of yoga must confront the mental attitude of insecurity and doubt. Actually, there are two mental styles we can use to go through life. In one style, we act as if everybody were saints until proven the thieves. I just talked to someone about this. Someone who is in this medicine wheel with me right now. In the other style, we act as if everybody were thieves until proven saints. Which style of life your mind uses depends on the strength and balance of your nervous system. Well, I don't think anyone is. I think everyone is God at their potential, but rather the second there. I don't think anyone would be saints, but maybe, yeah, well, after a while I won't maybe think the worst. Anyway. People who live the first style walk through every wave of life with an even attitude. If you ask them, how are you doing? They reply, I am fine. If there are certain dangers they might encounter, they say, I don't care. No danger is going to bite me. People who live by the second style are completely different. That's like me, somewhat like me. If you tell them the road is clear, it has been checked, it is beautiful, they will say, I don't believe it. I can't walk further. Well, yeah, well, I would carefully walk further. Anyway, this powerful, it's like a, experience also, but you can change that by the mindset, I guess, or the, what is it, the nervous system. What did they say? Yeah, strength and balance of your nervous system. Wow. This powerful insecurity can be created. It can create problems and disrupt happiness. The roots of the insecurity often run deep in the core of the elemental personality of a person's consciousness. Meditation, Kundalini Yoga, and White Tantric Yoga all work to disentangle the threads of insecurity from the layers of the subconscious. When these are removed, you can deal with things as they actually are rather than as your fears portray them. But sometimes you actually need to, that's the thing, going into a cage of lions, whatever. Not that you often do, but I mean, yeah. Or even in the wild, yeah. I mean, yeah, it depends. But anyways, I won't argue with this. In every mental state, the subconscious plays a major role, which we are not aware of. We say, I know my past. Actually, there is no such thing as my past. That past is only the experience you have in your subconscious mind. This was also beautiful. The past is only the experience you have in your subconscious mind. Only, yeah. You become attached to it, and this prevents you from moving forward in your life. Yeah, true. In Kundalini Yoga, we fry this subconscious mind. We make toast out of it and eat it. We have a technical know-how to approach this subconscious mind. If you do not clean it out, it sits behind your conscious mind and does mischief. It sits in the back and can spoil the image of human life by repeating its experiences, which are already in the past. Yeah, have we been through this? Yeah. But which are recorded in that subconscious mind. The subconscious mind must be taken care of and trained with Kundalini Yoga to be an aid in life. Kundalini Yoga develops your relationship to your mental potential. You learn to use the clarity of the neutral, intuitive, comprehensive mind. The subconscious mind must be taken care of and trained with Kundalini Yoga to be an aid in life. Yeah. The game of self-belittlement. I will just do a little more, then I will stop. I want to touch on one more pattern that you must confront. We often hold a feeling that we are very limited and inadequate. This is our self-belittlement. A person thinks, oh, I, a poor, humble self, can't do this. I'm a very miserable excuse for a human. We play this game very well, and also some people say it to us maybe. And there are three primary ways we play it. To get sympathy from people, to get recognized, and sometimes we play it so real that we actually feel it and are fooled by it. We all do it. It's just a matter of degree. The impact of that play is to limit your activity to realize the full capacity of your mental potential and energy. You must transcend and transform your subconscious habit of self-belittlement. If you are to expand and experience that your mind has an infinite horizon, there is actually no end to it. It is that horizon of infinity that we all meet as human beings. Understand this today. There are no two people who are alike. They are different physically, mentally, and historically. They share only one real similarity. The inflow of infinity can be equalized to the output of infinity. We can alter and regulate the inner balance of the finite in relation to the unlimited potential. That capacity and quality is the only thing in us which counts. Through that mechanism, which is in the basic structure of our inner nature, we can reach the state of infinity bliss liberation, of what does it say here? Jivan Mukt. Like any of the hundreds of words for that experience of infinity lived. You can call it anything, it doesn't matter, but it is real, accessible, and an important part of the fulfillment of our human nature and experience. You must transcend and transform your subconscious habit and self-belittlement if you are to expand and experience that your mind has an infinite horizon, which it does, whether you believe it or not. Okay, this is the last page now. Right, for now. Maybe I continue tomorrow because I love this. A technology of human consciousness. All the techniques and teachings that you may need are in Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga is the technology of human consciousness. You have the opportunity to know, test, and grow with these sacred teachings. The only impediment is the mental sickness that we cannot commit and we be constant at anything. Yeah. Yeah. If you overcome that limitation, become a steady student, and do the sadhana with regularity, the results are certain. With regular practice, the benefits accumulate so that you can direct yourself and have a deeper experience. You can enjoy your life more and you can extend your life's vitality. As a student, simply do your best. I pass on this knowledge freely and I exchange it with you as a brotherhood or family. It is meant to be shared. As God, Guru Ram Das, and my teachers have given this awareness and knowledge to me, I am a postman who delivers it to you to share with others. If you're willing to get into that kind of sharing, that kind of love, that kind of existence, you are welcome. Otherwise, we are happy, and wherever you are, there is no problem, and we stand ready to share and serve. 3HO, to serve and grow. We exist to grow and to help those who need assistance. That is why Kundalini Yoga teachers are not initiated. We serve and share. We do not push and proselytize. Truth and authentic growth do not happen that way. I feel that pushing knowledge on people is still pushing. I don't want to be a pusher of anything. I have never done that in my life. I'm not going to push deep sacred knowledge on you. I do want to share this secret science of Kundalini Yoga openly and vividly, no, widely it says, so that we can experience certain things and grow as human beings. In Kundalini Yoga, the most important thing is experience. Your experience goes right into your heart. No words can replace that experience. Your mind may accept the words or it may not, but your consciousness will not accept just words. The purpose of all our efforts is simply to extend your awareness in your consciousness so you can have this foundation in experience and a base in positive habits. Then you can smoothly plan your life to any extent you like. You can radiate creativity and infinity in all aspects of your life. That is the practical result of yoga. It is the capacity and right to live a healthy, happy, and holy life. That is why we call our yoga family 3HO, Healthy, Happy, Holy Organization. In Kundalini Yoga, the most important thing is your experience. It goes right to your heart. No words can replace that experience. Kundalini Yoga is a science which works on the 7 chakras, the arc line, and the aura, the 8th chakra. It works directly on the total energy, and the flow of energy has one simple way: either you sway it or it sways you. Either you are above the energy and ride it, or you go below the energy and it rides you. That is where Kundalini Yoga fits in. You will learn to ride your energy, to experience it and penetrate any given situation to attain a balance. What is Kundalini actually? It is your creative potential. You experience it when the energy of the glandular system combines with the energy of the nervous system to create such a sensitivity that the totality of the brain receives signals and integrate them. Then you become totally and wholly aware, and your creative potential becomes available to you. The power of Kundalini Yoga lies in the actual experience. It goes right into your heart and extends your consciousness so you may have a wider horizon of grace and of knowing the truth. Ultimately, you come to understand your existence in relationship to the universe and understand you already who. No, let's see. This was a long sentence. Ultimately, you come to understand your existence in relationship to the universe and understand you already are, and this brings you to the practical experience of infinity. Yeah. You can then radiate creativity and infinity in all aspects of your daily life. The attitude and attitude of Kundalini Yoga. The altitude and attitude of Kundalini Yoga. Longitude and latitude are given to everybody. Altitude and attitude are given by Kundalini Yoga. When the spiral rises to penetrate through all the chakras, the man knows he's Brahm. That's why they say Kundalini Yoga is dangerous. It's dangerous because it takes away from man the ability to be exploited by another man. By Yogi Bhajan. So, I just want to continue. I will just see how I won't though, but I want to. Sorry about those sounds now. I will just see. I think I will have to continue tomorrow. This is so lovely, yeah. And I never read about it. I just had the experiences. I talked about them before. Yeah. There is so much interesting here, and yeah, I think I want to bring, my experience. I want to share that, and this is one of the greatest treasures I've ever come across. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm being quiet now. I will just go through certain historical stuff and such, I guess, I hope tomorrow. Oh, the depth of this. Oh. I also understand this whole thing. When it comes to other things, I can relate this to many other things. I met someone the other week who talked about someone who just sat beside me, a young girl, lovely, who talked about, what are you doing for a living? We came to talk just for whatever reason. She liked my earrings actually, but anyway, so she wanted, can you hold my hand? And since I work as a medium and so, and I said, well, and also actually I had some small cards that I did a quick reading because I was just buying some food at the place, so I was just leaving, so it was like quick. But at the same time, when she asked me, I could have held her hand and I could have tuned in. But there are those who want to test this. These are also to me the holy gifts. Like, if you really feel that you want to grow through them, or you want real answers, your soul wants something, that can really feed you, or your heart, then I love to share it. But as being an experiment for someone else who don't, or who wants you to prove it, or who just won't value it, it's just throwing away energy. But I think she kind of liked the whole, it didn't take much energy to lay those small cards for her, so I think she got something out of it. I hope so. But it's similar to this, that there is no need, no reason to push it on anyone. There are those who are eager to have it, so you want to kind of reach them. And that's another thing when it comes to the witchy stuff, which I also love. It's that they never they are not missionary. It's not a missionary tradition, but so lovely. And I was, at the time when I left the coven, which I have longed for since then, actually, more or less, I had a lot of things to deal with, and I wasn't ready, and I needed so much peace, and I put some pressure on myself that was not pressure from the outside, but still it created some sort of stress. And what I wanted to say with that, just the fact that the real treasures you have, you need to share them also with those who are really want to absorb it, to not just take it and they have no better things to do right then and there. You know, that it feels like, yeah, then maybe they can't really take it in at that time or point in time. So yeah. Oh, there is so much interesting things here. I will have to sit and read for you all the day tomorrow. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I stopped now. I mean, I still talk, but I will stop soon. I won't read more though, but I just love it. And also the mantras. I mean, yeah, yeah. I love this. The way it was given to me was this way, the Yogi Bhajan way. Um, some talk about that it was like some basic before he combined it with a Sikh tradition, whatever. I don't know, but this was how it was given to me. First, I came in contact with Life Yoga, it's called, by Thomas Frankel here in Sweden, through a girl, Lotta. And that was first, but it was Kundalini Yoga still. But it was a very flowing and free-spirited, happy yoga. The later teachers were, I mean, they were constricted in themselves, I feel, as people more. So they kept it very, very stern in a, I mean, they push themselves in a non-happy way, let's say. And they have talked about that afterwards, that to them it wasn't a happy place, let's say. And so I realize how it can also, if you have that, I mean, maybe too stern higher self, or what you call it then, depending on what words you use, but in regular psychology words, then maybe this can be something that pushes you down. To me, it's just calming, and yeah, I love all parts of it, as far as I know of it, anyways. But my experience is, and that is the most important thing that I've had. But I love to read these things as well, and I want to come to the whole breath. But then there is a lot to read, and now my throat is hoarse. If you have any questions, please ask them. At least even if I don't have the answers, I could ask my teacher if she knows, because yeah, I like to learn so much about this. And wow, and there is I'm sorry about that sound also. There is this also super lovely woman. I mean, there are many lovely women here that actually have been trained in this. But there is a special kind of girl that I met some time ago, connected to one in the medicine wheel, by the way. But she, I think to her, this practice is from that softer, loving, freer way. I can see that in her eyes, like her shine or her vibe. It is her energy. It is, yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, anyways, awesome. So I will just end this, and I probably didn't do this too softly. I just go into it and also stutter when I read that. And also I have a furnace, or what it's called, on here. Maybe I should turn that off. Some people like kind of white sounds in the background, some don't. I really don't myself, but so maybe I should turn it off tomorrow if my voice want to continue. I feel so blessed and so thankful for Yogi Bhajan's sharing this with us, and I hope something from this can also be a drop of light or a seed or something into your hearts. Yeah, the happiness it gives me, I hope I can project some of it to you. So yeah, that was that for today. Oh, sometimes, when it comes to financial stuff, I do not, as of yet, have a lot, which have been good, because the universe also protects us in several, sometimes strange ways, when you wouldn't be able to actually deal with it in a good way for yourself, or healthy way. But I feel so rich with all these things that I have and can share, and I feel overflowing with the wish to share and give. Also with some of the practices like chakra flow massage and marma puncture and those practices that I work more physically, that's not my main thing, but I long for it. And where I am right now, I don't have really the space for it. I have the massage bench and so on, and the things I need for it, but those are also things that I totally love to do and would love to spend all days like doing because I love it so very much, you know. And so, yeah, getting there with myself also physically eventually, hopefully, then I think all of these pieces can, well, as it is right now, also as it said there, everything as it is, but be to be, you know. But also, I feel that then I can give as much of this that I have. I feel so rich. I feel so full of all gifts that I want to share with the world, with those who really want them or need them. Yeah, or both sometimes. Yeah. Anyways, take care, anyone who managed to listen so far. And hopefully we will talk tomorrow. I could also do this live so that someone could chat meanwhile, but we will see. Right now, I just do them like this, so I get through it. Well, bye for now, and thank you very much for being there, everyone who have been around for long, or if you're new. Anyways, yeah. Bye for now.